There's no shortage of conflicting information out there when it comes to separation anxiety, especially on social media. So I want to make sure that we're on the same page from the ground up. So let's start with, what is separation anxiety? Separation anxiety is a panic disorder or a phobia of being left alone. The clinical definition of separation anxiety states that a dog cannot tolerate being left by a specific person or persons. However, it's a lot more common for dogs to just struggle with the idea of being alone with no human company at all. Professionals will usually refer to this as isolation distress, but separation anxiety is commonly used as an umbrella term to describe both conditions. For simplicity and ease of understanding, I will be using separation anxiety as a catch-all term to describe both isolation distress and separation-related problem behaviors. Now, a phobia is a fear that is irrational, but it is very real to the individual experiencing it. I don't know if you have any phobias of your own, but for me, it's spiders. I can't stand spiders, I can't go anywhere near them, and I know logically in my head when I see a spider, it's probably not going to actually hurt me. But that doesn't make me feel any more safe or any less afraid of the spider. I'm still really scared of it. The same can be true of our dogs. Even if nothing bad has ever actually happened to your dog while they've been alone, the fear they're feeling is real. The experience they're having is genuine. And so you may have encountered the advice to just let your dog cry it out, they'll get used to it, they'll learn nothing bad is happening, and you may have already learned that that doesn't work. The reason that doesn't work is because it doesn't matter what is happening externally to your dog. It's about their internal perception and their experience. Regardless of whether anything actually bad or threatening is happening, your dog is having a negative experience. They're having what is essentially a panic attack. And that association of I'm alone and I have a panic attack is really only going to get stronger and stronger. When a dog is struggling with separation anxiety, their behavior is not voluntary. They're not in control of anything that they do or any way that they behave. You'll hear rhetoric that is surrounded around the idea that our dogs are trying to manipulate us into coming back, or they're trying to act in a spiteful way or take revenge on us, and they're just really not capable of that sort of thought process. Your dog is not thinking anything. They're not doing anything on purpose. They are just trying to cope with the panic and distress that they are feeling. Separation anxiety is a welfare issue. You're probably here because the behaviors your dog is displaying are distressing for you, frustrating, and maybe even costly. And those are all really valid things to be concerned about. But we also need to acknowledge the impact that this is having on our dog's well-being, both emotional and physical. Stress can have long-lasting health impacts, and so if your dog is exposed to extreme stress every day or most days, that is going to impact their physical health and their mental well-being. And that is why this course does not include any intentional force, fear, pain, or discomfort to change our dog's behavior, because why would we add more stress to a situation that we are trying to de-escalate? So how do you know if your dog has separation anxiety? If you're not sure whether your dog actually struggles with separation, the best way to find out is to record them when you leave. There are lots of different ways that separation anxiety can present itself. The three behaviors we see most frequently are vocalization, so barking, howling, whining, and crying; destruction, chewing up walls, ripping up carpets, tearing up furniture; and elimination, so having accidents despite being house-trained. Your dog may present other behaviors like pacing, panting, excessive drooling, attempts to escape, or even self-harm. Every dog will express themselves a little bit differently, and all of these behaviors can also show up in dogs who don't struggle with separation anxiety. For instance, your dog may be destructive out of boredom or because they have unmet needs. They may be having accidents due to a UTI, health issues, or other stressors. And they might be vocalizing because they're reactive to noises outside of the home. If you aren't sure, here are some questions to ask yourself. Do these behaviors only appear when my dog is left alone, or do they happen other times too? Has my dog been assessed by a vet recently for underlying pain? Am I meeting my dog's mental, physical, and species-specific needs like sniffing, foraging, shredding, chewing, and licking? Are there noises outside that my dog can hear and is sensitive to? Now, if your dog does have an underlying medical condition, unmet needs, or noise phobias, that doesn't necessarily mean they don't have separation anxiety. But these things can often interact and exacerbate each other, and we'll be making a long process a whole lot longer if we don't stop to look at the whole picture and address other contributing factors.